Hello, theme park fans, and welcome to episode 77 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Jalen Harvey.
What's good?
Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
And the very British Tommy Hawkins.
Hey, guys.
Tommy, can you do an American accent? Can you do an American accent?
No, because I reckon mine would be like the equivalent to where I live in Essex. So it would probably be like a New Jersey kind of real heavy aggressive accent.
Oh dear God!
Because Essex is basically the equivalent state. So
Jersey.
It would probably come out like that. Yeah.
All right, so we got a few things to talk about today. Some late breaking developments over at Epcot, and possibly more as we record the show. But first, let's get my trip review out of the way and get the heckling out of the way.
How long is the show going to be if there's going to be breaking news breaking during the show?
Well, you never know. We're recording in the middle of the day on Sunday or on Monday. Disney loves dropping stuff around 4 or 5 on Mondays, so we'll see.
How about a 4 trailer at 4 o'clock? That'd be nice.
Maybe. We'll see. So I recently went on the Disney Dream. The Disney Cruise Line. And I want to say first and foremost, I left my iPad on the ship. We got off last Monday, a week ago, and I left my iPad on the ship, and I'm holding that iPad right now. They got it back to me in less than a week, and that is impressive.
Did they charge you for that, or did you?
No. We leave the ship, and I realize on the bus ride back to Orlando, I forgot my iPad. I don't want to call Disney guest services. I'll be on for hours and hours and hours. I'll do it when we get home because I don't want to spend the rest of my vacation on the phone with Disney, right?
Did you not ask Grassy to do it just because he enjoys doing it?
The hotline.
Imagine this, guys.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just drink something up for me? Yeah, sure, no worries. Any excuse.
Imagine, I bet half the country would freak out and call as soon as they realize that they left their iPad there. And you say, I'll give it a couple days and then call.
Yeah, well, because the wait times at Disney Cruise Line have been terrible, absolutely horrible for calling their guest services line. So I'm heading to Orlando. I got a few days of Universal and Gatorland, and I'm still having fun. So I don't want to be stressed out about being on hold with Disney for 7 hours. So we got home on Wednesday night around midnight. I go online, Disney Cruise Line Lost and Found, the form you fill out. Cool. I fill the form out. Thursday morning, I wake up 6 hours later. Thursday morning, I've got a tracking number already. And here we are on Monday, and I open my door, and there's the iPad. So kudos to Disney Cruise Line for getting the iPad back to me. And less than a week, pretty much.
That's good.
They did call me. We were waiting for our shuttle to get back to Orlando. We were at the port, and my phone rang when I was chasing my daughter around. Noticed I missed a call, and I reversed, I looked up the number on Google, and it said Disney Cruise Line, land operations, whatever. So I figured that's what it was. But good on them.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm impressed. And I say that because, again, I'm in this Disney cruising Facebook group. And if you go on a cruise, like I said last time, you can go on to Facebook and put in the name of your ship and the dates you are sailing. And there's almost always a group already started of people who are also going on that ship. So you can ask for tips and hints and tricks and this and that. How does testing work? Yada, yada, yada. And you can share stuff in that group. So people had been sharing their screenshots, Bergen style, of them waiting with Disney Cruise Line on the phone for 6-7 hours. So I was not in the mood to deal with that. But again, good on Disney. Now let's get to the not so good stuff. And I'll make this as easy and quick as possible because if you've already seen my Twitter thread, most of it is there. We booked the Disney Dream. I booked this a couple of months ago. And I paid $2,100 for 3 nights on the Disney Dream to Nassau, Bahamas.
Just translate that to everybody listening at home. That's the equivalent of everybody else spending around $200,000 US dollars. So that is serious amounts of money, everyone. So just so you understand, that is a lot of money for this man.
It's quite a bit of money for me. And to compare that, we're cruising again in a couple of months on a Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas, a new-ish kind of ship, 2 people, and that's only $1,700. So for 3 people, I paid $2,100 for 3 nights. In Royal, I'm paying $1,700 for a 6-night cruise. A full week on the boat is going to be less than just 3 nights on a Disney ship. So it is expensive. I talk to people about, not going into debt for Disney and not breaking the bank for Disney. And I think it's important to reiterate that because the cost of this ship and because of the cost of this cruise was really big. And I cut some corners in some ways, of course. You guys know me. I booked it on CostcoTravel.com. I'm a Costco member. $60 a year. It pays for itself essentially. So I am getting a $200 gift card in the mail from Costco for booking through them. Most magical Disney travel agents that are out there obviously get a kickback from Disney when you book a vacation with them. Costco gives you a share of that kickback. And so that's why I keep using Costco for almost every vacation I take, because I'm getting a gift card back in the mail a couple of weeks after my cruises. So that's a pretty standard thing to do. And I also think I booked this on one of my credit cards, and I got like 2% or 3% cash back for booking it on my credit card. So I saved about $300, $400, $500, I think.
Can you use the Costco gift card on another trip in Costco travel?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. I would think so. But at a certain point, not to get too into the Costco metaverse, but you want to upgrade your membership to Costco to the $120 version, because you'll start getting 2% cash back if you book with your Costco Visa. That's a whole different issue there. But that's a good question, Ryan. But I've already earmarked that $200 on my gift card for a 2-person blow up kayak that I want to buy to take on the lake and the river this summer. So there's that. Now, if you remember our last conversation about my cruise last year, I talked about how awful the testing was, how traumatic it was for my daughter with Royal Caribbean. Disney was very, very different. Of course, now I had more experience. I did my research. I looked up cell towers. And so testing with Disney was much easier because they just obviously are dealing with more kids. So they have a more kid-friendly environment for testing. Unlike Royal Caribbean, Eric and I did not have to be tested for this cruise because we're vaccinated. So the only test that we had to do was at the terminal. Beforehand, we didn't need any testing. My daughter did. And it's interesting because you have to get tested 3 days before you go, if your kid does, right? So about 3 days, I get my daughter tested. The next day, with 2 days to go, I wake up with an email from Disney saying, you aren't going on your cruise. This cruise ain't happening. You have an urgent protocol you have to fix right now. Upload your daughter's testing information right now, or she's not going. Well, it takes 1 to 2 days to get your test results back because of the kind of test they want you to do. So I waited, used the Safe Passage website, and uploaded her test results, and it was all fine. But the message they sent was very urgent and very alarming. But once we got there, we got tested in and out of that part of the terminal in like 10, 15 minutes. Super easy. I didn't see anyone have a positive test, or I don't know what they do if you have a positive test. Like, do you get back in your car? I don't know what happens with that.
Would they not you'd think they would do like a in-person lateral flow. Do you know what I mean? Just to confirm it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's and at the testing center outside the terminal, you do it yourself. You stick the thing in your own nose or in your kid's nose. So, and they have this big TV screen with everyone's stateroom number. And as your test results come up, your stateroom number will pop up. So it's a long wait. I think the process took 15 minutes. The waiting took half an hour, about 30, 35 minutes. So you're sitting in this big tent with everyone else. They have 3 tents, and you sit in the tent and wait, look at the TV, or refresh your email, or refresh your Safe Passage website on your phone. And so, but again, obviously all test results came back negative, so we were good to go on the ship. Once we got into the terminal itself, with the security and check-in, all that kind of stuff, that was about 10 minutes. We were on the ship. And that's kind of where, up to this point, I thought, wow, I'm booking this again. We're coming back. Because there's a sailing in October on the Wish that we might be able to do. a week we already have for vacation. We're doing this. We get in the ship. There's Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse up on the deck or up on the balcony. My daughter freaks out. She just lost her mind. And mind you, we spent a month before this cruise with my daughter watching videos on YouTube to prepare her for what to expect. You know, here's the ship, here's the boat, you'll see the characters, here's the kids club, here's how the testing works. All that stuff we did for a month, day in and day out. And so for the first time in her life, something she's seen on TV has become real to her, you know? So that was a really big thing for her to be able to meet the characters. And you kind of go to the atrium, see the characters, get a photo, and they want to move you on because more people are coming up behind you on the ship, right? And my daughter didn't want to leave. And it had already been a pretty long morning. One thing that is important to know or interesting to know for those of you going for the first time, so we flew into MCO the night before around midnight, right? We have to get from MCO to Port Canaveral about an hour away. Disney has a shuttle, and don't quote me on this. I think it's like $70 or $80 per person round trip. Not cheap. Disney has a shuttle that will take you from the airport or Disney World to the cruise terminal, and it's about $70 or $80 per person. So that's pretty expensive. Do you guys think I'm paying that? No way. So here's what I did, and listen carefully if you can. I went online to Costco.com, CostcoTravel.com. I booked a rental car. I didn't pay for it. I just booked it. That was $110, right? We get to the airport, and my plan was to take this rental car and go from MCO to Port Canaveral and drop it off in Port Canaveral. One-way rental car. $110 plus would have been probably $20-25 in gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get to MCO. We land, get our stuff, and we find ourselves, hang on one second.
It's a dramatic build-up now.
Sorry, there's a very large car outside. We find ourselves in the airport. I pull up Uber and look at the price of Uber and see if that's any cheaper. That was about $100 or $105. So instead of taking the rental car, I canceled it real quick on my phone and we got the Uber instead. We saved about $20-25 by taking an Uber.
Wait,
am I cutting out again? Hello?
No,
I missed. I have a large car outside my house too. I had to look.
No, okay. So yeah, we took the Uber instead. You never know.
Jesus.
So that's one interesting way to save money. A lot of people will stay at Disney World. Obviously, that ain't happening, and take the shuttle in the day of the cruise with Disney. That also ain't happening. We got a very nice room in Port Canaveral that was about a 5-minute Uber ride away from the port itself. So next time you go, or if you ever go, consider doing that. The ship itself, of the Disney Dream, big, beautiful, elegant, clean like a whistle. It looked like it had just launched that day. A very, very clean ship. I have nothing bad to say about that. The first issue comes up when we talk about my room. And I'm not sure if you saw my Twitter thread or not, but we get to our rooms. I think we had gone and had lunch first or something like that while our room was getting ready. We get to the room. My kid's pretty tired. I put her on the potty to go potty. And and I leave the bathroom. I come back 2 minutes later, and there's a big red Sharps disposal box, a needle box, that was open. And an adult can't get their hand in there. A child could get their hand in there, and it was right at her eye level while she's sitting on the bathroom and on the potty.
Is that
at her eye level?
Is that every room's got a sharp spot?
I didn't go room to room checking. I don't know.
No, I mean, is it been left by someone else?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It seems really unusual. I've never seen the need for that kind of thing, unless you've got a specific medical purpose. Most people don't need a sharp spot.
There wasn't one in my last cruise cabin, but there was on this one. And I set it up on top of up higher, obviously, where she couldn't reach it, and it sat there the entire time. The cabin steward never took it at all. But that could have been really ugly really fast. I was not happy seeing that. And again, you pay more, you expect more. Am I wrong for assuming that?
It's not. It seemed from the photo you posted, it seemed a little bit like I don't know how to describe it. A bit out of place. Like
Right. Yeah. I just, again, I expect better service and better care from Disney. One, because of the price they charge, and two, because of all of the foamers continue to tell me that's why you pay more at Disney. It's for the magic, and so it's safer, and it's this and it's that, and the quality is better. And Universal's ghetto. So, not a good start to my $2,000 cruise. After that, we go to the buffet. It's not called Windjammer. That's Royal Caribbean. Cabanas. We go to the buffet to Cabanas. Our room, by the way, was beautiful. We had a balcony room, very beautiful, very spacious. Shower in one room, toilet in the other, in a separate room. So it makes it a lot easier for a family to get ready in the morning or at night. So really good on the room. The food at Cabanas, the buffet, was absolutely terrible. And when I say terrible, it was bad. I think I had 3 bites of my lunch and said, that's it. And I got up and walked away from it. Not good.
Was it worse than that place that you said was bad?
Not as bad as our Dominican trip last year, where the food was literally inedible, but it was pretty close. I picked up a chicken tender and was banging it against the table like this. Like you could. It was so damn hard. And here's my
basically food level of most of the theme parks, then.
That's how I no, worse. Because I will die, at least the last couple of years, I'm not so sure about, but I will die on the hill that Disney World's chicken tenders are really good. And their chicken nuggets, rather, are really, really good. I love those chicken nuggets from Backlot Express.
Yeah, they're starting to cut those off a lot of menus.
Oh, really?
I think so. Like,
of course.
They're hard to find, the chicken nuggets.
Because I like it, so they got to get rid of it. Just like the pork shank and everything, and the taco bowl.
Don't bring up the pork shank. We don't have to bring that up. Okay? Don't. You don't have to do that.
And mind you, I've been dieting. I've been exercising my ass off because I want to get on this boat and I'm going to gain some weight. Like, I'm going to eat. I booked the cruise so I can eat. So my daughter can see characters and so I can eat my ass off. The opposite happened. I weighed myself today. I lost 2 pounds on the ship, essentially, or over vacation. So not what I was expecting. The food was bad. The meat was cold. The buffet especially was just bad. There was one day the eggs for breakfast were like they had run scrambled eggs through a strainer with water and then dumped it all out. It was watery eggs, like half water. It was weird. And I don't know why any chef or any cook or whoever would let them go out like that, but it was just awful. And it got to the point a couple of nights into the cruise, I'm at the pub on the ship talking to someone. It was her first Disney cruise. I'm asking, what do you like? What don't you like? She goes, oh, this is fun. But the food is bad. I look at her and go, yeah, the food is bad. And the people at the table behind me go, yeah, the food sucks on this ship. Like, so the whole bar is commiserating over how bad the food is. Just awful. Terrible food. I could not believe how bad the food was.
Can I ask a question? Because I literally have got no idea about all this. What other options have you got? Are you like the captive audience on the boat? Is that the only place where you can go?
I can't get a pizza delivered.
You can't?
I cannot get a pizza delivered on the ship, no. Domino's will not send a helicopter out to the middle of the ocean to drop me a...
I don't mean Domino's. I just mean... like, if you don't want to go to buffet... Right. Is there not an alternative? Like,
yes,
you said, I'm not saying can you get pizza delivered, but you'd expect there to be some sort of like little pickup, like, you know, if people haven't got time to sit and do the whole buffet thing, they might be able to pick something up like that.
So there is the main buffet, and then there are
this kind of equivalent.
Right. There's the buffet, and so each night you have a sit down restaurant option where you can sit down at Enchanted Garden, Royal Palace, or Animator's Palette. 3 sit-down restaurants that you rotate each night to a different one if you choose to. That's what we did. And the food there, the first night at Enchanted Garden, I ordered 2 entrees. I wanted the prime rib because I always pick the prime rib. Got the prime rib. It was cold. It was a bit undercooked, which for prime rib is hard to do because you already undercooked prime rib, but it was cold and bad. And I also ordered pork tenderloins. I believe they were pork tenderloins, medallions essentially. And they were literally, once again, hard as a rock. I couldn't even cut through it with my knife. It was that bad. And that was the theme for most of the cruise. I ordered room service. I ordered wings to room service. Wings were okay. Probably the best thing I had all week were those room service wings. Because I left the restaurant hungry, and a couple hours later, I wanted room service because I was still hungry. So, and then also, Tommy, there are 2 essentially quick service windows, 3 rather, that will serve you the same chicken fingers and fries from the buffet, the same pizza from the buffet, and hot dog and Polish sausage or bratwurst. So you have those options.
So is all that included then? Or you have to pay out for that?
No, that's included. There are 2 upscale restaurants, quote unquote upscale for Disney. There are 2 upcharge restaurants, rather, Remy and Paulo. Both of those, you have to be 18 or over to dine in. So that was out for us because my kid is not 18, thank God. And Remy is about $45 per person, and Paulo is about $125 per person extra.
So it sounds to me like all of those ones that you described, the inverted commas free ones, is probably coming out of one kitchen, and then the upcharge ones might be a different kitchen.
Yeah, and you can see from the way the ship is configured, all the restaurants kind of surround this big empty area, and that's where the kitchen is. Yeah, it's all one kitchen. I just couldn't believe a head chef would let food go out like that. It's just bad. And like I said on Twitter, I shouldn't have to pay more to have a decent meal on a ship. I'm already paying $2,100, and that's just not to meet characters for 3 days. That's to have good food. And they totally whiffed.
It's just basically Epcot. If you want to have a good time, you've got to pay out for food and booze. Yeah,
that's a pretty good analogy. And even from what I've been told, the food on Remy and Paulo are not that up to snuff either. So they even leave a bit lacking. And I'm telling you now, if I'm paying $2,000 to be on the ship and I'm paying an extra $120 per person to eat at Paulo, I am expecting some really good food. I've eaten at a couple of Club 33s, and I expect that level of quality if I'm paying that much more. I can go to the best steakhouse in the Midwest and drop $120 and have the best steak of my life tomorrow. So Disney has something to figure, or they don't have anything to figure out with the food because they like it being bad because they want to incentivize you to pay more for good food.
I just wonder if you'd gone on any other ship, whether it would be the same, or whether I'm sure there'll be people that will tell you, well, actually, every other cruise ship I've been on, the food's been good, blah blah blah. But
right, well, no, our cruise last year on Royal Caribbean on Serenade of the Seas, food was great. Food was excellent, excellent food.
No, but I mean, like within the Disney cruise.
Oh
line,
yeah.
Like.
Well, from what I'm learning, it's pretty common that the food in these ships is pretty bad. And if you want good food, you got to pay extra. So it's typical. And then there are people saying, well, yeah, the food was bad, but it was still magical. What? Huh? What?
Honestly,
no, I want good food.
Isn't that true of most? Well, certainly you can tell me about other parks, but certainly at Disney World, if you want good food, you're upcharging for good food.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say most food at Disney World is amazing. Like if you want like pretty good food, you can go to Springs, but within parks, it's really like
right. But the difference is I'm paying $2,000 and I'm trapped on this ship, so I can't just get in my car and drive to Golden Corral and I drive if I want a good meal. So it's in addition to that, each night in a restaurant, something magical is supposed to happen. The princesses come in and wave. And the characters will come in and wave, and the animator's palette, there's Crush on a screen, and we'll talk to your family just like Turtle Talk with Crush. And every night, we had the worst positioning in the entire restaurant. We were table number 2, so you're pre-assigned the table each night. And the tables are preset, essentially. And each time, we missed almost all the action. At the first restaurant, Enchanted Garden, we're literally behind a wall. Mickey and Minnie come in. They walk around the main area of the dining room. We can't see them. Can't see them. I have to hold my daughter up on my lap and up over the wall to see the character, to barely see the top of the characters' heads. Mind you, she is on that ship to see characters. We are paying. Now we know we're not paying for good food. We're paying for character interactions, and we don't get it in the restaurant. Turtle Talk with Crush. We are right by the entrance of the restaurant where there are almost no visible screens. So not only does Crush not interact with us, we can barely see him interacting with other guests. So we miss out on that too.
I kind of feel like you'd have to be like that person, like the kind of Karen, like, go and complain just to get the situation rectified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to go
and I didn't know that, if you have a crappy seat on night 1, you're going to have a crappy seat on night 2 and 3. So I thought, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow we won't be in the, behind a wall. And we show up and go, oh, crap, here it is again. So, in addition to that, our servers, and listen, let me say this now before y'all jump on me. Oh, my God. I don't know if I want to say it. But I want this hassle right now in my life. Disney cast members and crew members work hard. They're underpaid. They're worked to death. They are special. They make the magic. Without them, the magic wouldn't be possible. Be nice to cast members, blah, 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 blah.
How dare you criticize these hardworking employees?
These martyrs.
These martyrs. That's the problem with you, way to cheap bastard and don't appreciate good shit. People are trying.
You entitled prick. So
pay $2,000
our table service.
Good service? How dare you? Well, fuck do you
our
think
table service left a lot to be desired. I had a photo of this on Twitter, also in the thread of, and if anyone who knows me or watches me eat or cook, and Jalen, you might know this, being from a black household, you don't cook in a dirty kitchen, right? You clean the kitchen first. You're always taught that.
Yeah,
you cannot,
from the beginning.
I can't cook in a dirty kitchen, and I can't eat on a cluttered table. Also, as a kid, we had to clear off the table, clear your homework off, your toys, whatever, iPads, phones, off the table. So I physically cannot eat at a cluttered table. So as our meals progressed each night, and they would bring you courses, it's like 4 courses, your bread, your drinks. I had a beer every night, your desserts, whatever, yada, yada. Plates and bowls and cups and cans would pile up on our table, and it drove me nuts. It drove me absolutely insane. There's a picture I put on Twitter of just crap on our table, just piling up. And servers are walking by, watching you. They see your table, and my expectations were set by Royal Caribbean when I cruised with them last year. They always took off empty plates for us, always took off empty cups or any clutter on our table. They were right there on it. They were on top of it. They brushed off the crumbs for us and everything before the next course came out. Not at Disney.
So, questions for you. Were they incredibly busy, or was it not busy? And were they touching tables even when they wasn't bringing stuff, or is it literally like, here's your food, and then they fucked off for 10 minutes?
A little bit in between that. I couldn't tell how busy they were because we were in a corner behind a wall, first of all. So I couldn't tell how busy we were or how busy they were. But they would touch every once in a while. I was drinking alcohol, so they were at us probably more than others. But while we were eating dessert, I'm staring at the bread from the first course on my table still. That's unacceptable. Again, for luxury dining, for upscale dining, that is unacceptable. And you can call me elitist. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Good. Slide my mentions. I already know you want to, but
just so
I've had
uppity for no damn reason.
bougie, uppity. I've eaten at many luxury.
White man? How dare you? How dare
you don't understand how hard it is to make magic.
Yeah, I know. I'm a terrible person for expecting them to keep my table clean while I ate. And it's even more so when you have a kid, right? When you have a toddler. If you look at the photo, there's a pack of M&Ms on the table. There's her tablet. So there's even more clutter that we bring just by sitting down with this kid who wants to throw stuff and touch everything. And so it's really important to keep that table cleared off as best as possible. They didn't do it. One other issue I had was the last night I ordered a pretty nice bottle of wine for Eric and I. I think it was $60 or $70, a bottle of wine I ordered. And if you haven't, I hesitate to do this because if you haven't eaten or ordered alcohol at a luxury restaurant or an upscale restaurant before, this might be weird sounding to you. So please bear with me. If you have a nice bottle of wine, what happens is at a nice restaurant, they'll bring the bottle. The waiter will cork it, which they did. They give you the cork to smell, and they give you a little bit, they give you a little bit of wine in the glass to taste to make sure the wine hasn't gone bad, because this wine sits for days and days and weeks and months and months. So the waiter did all that. I can tell Jay Lynn's ready to jump on my ass right now. Then what happens is, it was champagne. It was champagne, not wine. Because what happens is they will bring out an ice bucket and they will put that champagne in an ice bucket for you. And they will have a towel over the neck of the bottle that sits in the bucket of ice, your champagne, right? When you want champagne, what should happen is the waiter who's checking on your table every once in a while will come over, notice your glass is empty or near empty. He will pick up the bottle, put the towel over his forearm so the ice from the water from the ice doesn't go everywhere and make a mess, and he will pour in the glass for you, right? That did not happen with us. We had to reach across the table, and someone's going to kill us. We had to pour our own champagne in the glass, and ice got everywhere. Water gets everywhere. Typically what happens is the waiter will do that for you to avoid the ice and water spilling everywhere from the bucket. But at this restaurant on this night, they did not do that. So it caused a little bit of chaos. And it's not very helpful if you're sitting on the far end of the table opposite of the ice bucket. So take that for what it's worth. I know some will understand it, but it's a thing. Trust me.
Well, look,
I like how you started all this off. Go, Ryan. I'll let you go first.
You spend $60, $70 and you expect this upscale. If you want this from Disney, you know how much it costs for a lightsaber? It's $200. You're gonna spend minimum like $300 if you want that. If you want the guy to hold the bottle and pour it for you. Otherwise, you're getting watered down champagne.
And every once in a while, he would come over and do. I think once or twice he did it throughout the course, and we drank the whole bottle in one night. Once or twice he would do it. He did the initial pour, obviously, and then, but every other time we had to do it ourselves. It was kind of like, And Disney fans want to rag on Royal Caribbean and Carnival. Royal Caribbean, we had a bottle of wine and a bottle of champagne 2 nights in a row. They did it for us. So
I just don't like how you started off with that story, basically calling everybody broke. Like you. What? If you've ever been to a fancy restaurant before, if you haven't had the experience of having a bottle, I don't know if I've had bottle service before, you bastard.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what your lived experience is. So some people have not.
Smell the cork now you want to smell a cork like you're fucking Kermit the Frog in the Muppet movie. What the fuck? What? And now you're just mad because your waiter was acting like Steve Martin. Continue the story, motherfucker. Continue the story because I would act this way. I would show you my whole ass the way you. Oh my god, disrespectful mother. Keep going.
There are places in the world, i.e., France, where that job is a profession, and you go to university and you study and you do things properly. Like a friend of mine's dad is a pretty famous on TV person for talking all about that stuff.
Yeah, a sommelier.
It's pretty standard to do you know what I mean? But it just sounds to me that from what I'm getting from your whole story is you were in the cheap seats. You were it's like going to the theatre and then they put you up in the fucking rafters and you need binoculars to see the stage. They've put you in the cheap seats and the waiter's just forgotten about you. That's what it sounds like.
So wait, Tommy, there's something like So basically, if you want to hire a butler, you should go to the UK, right? If they have that.
God.
No, I mean, if you want proper service, you go to France.
Ryan,
France,
you trying to buy a
France, okay.
slave? What's going on here?
I know. It's all Europe to you. I know. It's like
Yeah,
one
that's just that's like
distinct.
same area.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it is.
and again, our expectations were set by Royal Caribbean when we sailed last year in October. We had great service. They kept the tables clean for us. They did the extra stuff that Disney fans claim Disney does, but they don't do. So we had our expectations set by a different company, and they just were not met for a higher price by Disney. We did tip extra, by the way. Y'all ain't gonna mention this. We prepaid gratuities, and then I put extra cash in the envelopes for everyone on our service team. Our stateroom attendant who almost killed my daughter with a needle. Our dining staff, we tipped them extra cash.
Wakefield.
That's the weird thing, though, right? Because in this country, honestly, because the culture is you would tip when someone deserves to be tipped, not you're tipping because you're actually paying their wages.
Oh no, not in America anymore.
Wages.
We tip for everything.
Yeah, you have to.
It's insane. But my point is, like if it was a British family, they wouldn't have tipped. They wouldn't have tipped because they would have gone, well, why should we? It was shit. Like, it was shit service.
No, I did because I knew some of y'all would have some spies out there, and y'all would have been like, "Oh, Chris Wakefield didn't tip any extra. Get the word out." And y'all would have canceled me on Twitter and shit. I know how y'all be stalking me and trying to prove this narrative.
What type of cash did you give them? Because cold cash does not count. Okay. Cold cash does not count. Disney dollars don't count.
Oh no, that's what you should have done. You should have tipped in Disney gift cards,
fucking coupons and shit, man. If it was real money,
still giving the tip, but just to show like your displeasure at their service, be like, I'm going to tip you the same as what I would, but it's going to be on a Disney gift card because that's Disney. That's the Disney way.
I tipped American cash, greenbacks. I took money out of my safe at home and put it in my bag just for tipping.
Man, you lying. You gave them 10 quarters and you're like, man, I am a man of the people. I am a humanitarian. I'm holding it. You gave these motherfuckers a roll of quarters. It was like, go play Metal Slug. Go play Devil's Pac-Man.
No, you didn't put him in you didn't put a roller quarters. You just brought the change jar that he's got at home on the kitchen counter. Just dumps it on the table.
Fight amongst yourselves.
There you go.
And he took out anything high, anything more than a dime, he took out of there. All you get is pennies and nickels. Okay.
I didn't take a picture of it because I would have been tacky, but I put 20s in those envelopes. And Eric is my witness.
Man,
Eric and I set $20 bills. $20. You can ask Eric.
Goddamn call.
He is my witness. We sat there the last night and put our envelopes together. So yeah, a couple more things about the cruise, real quick. The kids club. We did the open house. My daughter is 3 years old and she has two dads. She's a daddy's girl. We cannot leave her side even in the house, let alone on the cruise ship. So she would not let us leave her alone in the kids clubs. And more so, since she is too young to be vaccinated, they have the kids cordoned off in the kids club. So there are 4 or 5 big rooms in the kids club for kids her age, and they separated them by age. So the 3-year-olds were only going to be able to play in the Toy Story room, a smaller room. So she would not have gone for that. So we did not take advantage of the kids club. It is funny because the last day on the ship, our Castaway Key got canceled because of rough waters. And so they said, hey, the kids club is going to be open now. So we go down to the kids club, right? We're walking with her down the hallway and someone goes, hey, it's open hours. Come on inside. Cool. We go to the door. Hey, is it open hours? And the lady goes, no. Why would it be open hours? A cast member walked past us and literally told us, you can ask Eric again, it's open hours, go inside. We go 3 steps further. There's no open hours. What are you talking about? It was weird. Absolutely weird.
What's open hours? Sorry, I'm confused.
It's an open house. You can go in with it. The parents can go in with the kids and play in any room they want to. But it wasn't, but it was.
So what did you do? Just throw her in there and run?
No. We played the midship detective agency, just like Keepers, or what's the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom? Is that the game?
Is that the Muppets one, the detective agency one?
Yeah, so there are three different stories.
Like, solve me?
Yeah, there are three different stories, and one of them is Muppets.
Oh, fuck, I would have did that. Yeah. Damn, I would have did that.
Yeah, and that's really cool because you have to go to every floor, and one clue is on the one side, and another clue is the opposite side downstairs, so you have to go back and forth and back and forth. So my daughter loved that. But when we got to the cruise ship, the first thing they do is give your kid a magic band, and they put it on their arm, right? Right, like when at Harry Potter at Ollivanders, when they give the kid the wand, and they go, "Oh, look, you're magical." And they go to the parent and go, "By the way, that's $100." So they give my kid a magic band when we check in. Then they go to me and go, "Hey, if she wants to keep that band, it's going to be $13 at the end of your cruise ship."
That's a shame.
Or you can turn it back into the kids club on the last day and get your money back. What do you think I did?
Well, I mean, as the guy who had his mom walk 5 miles, you fucking, you gave back the magic band.
We gave back that magic band. Hell yeah, $13 for a magic band?
Right.
That's as much as that's like the lowest price that they cost. That's even, like, I think at Disney it's what, $15, $20?
I have a drawer of magic bands that she doesn't play with
that
now.
you get for free.
No, we paid for some. I think. I don't remember. It's been so long. But
I don't think you paid for a goddamn thing in your life in Wakefield.
We got magic bands at home. I'm not paying $14 for a magic band. That ain't happening. So I took it back.
Like a black Scrooge McDuck. Good
and she had a lot of souvenirs. She came off the ship with extra Mickeys and Minnies, and she bought everything Red Panda in the gift shop. She bought the slippers, the shirts, everything Red Panda she got. That's her new favorite movie.
Well, they actually had merch for it.
They have merch, yeah. It was about a 4-foot end cap's worth. The shop on the ship was a lot smaller than I expected. I thought Disney was going to gouge us with this massive, World of Disney-like shop. It was pretty small, though.
You're going to have to repeat some of that because you kind of Megatroned out there.
Okay. The shop on the ship was very small. I thought it'd be much, much bigger.
Wow, really? That is kind of...
Yeah, it was... Yeah. Like, I'm on the ship. You have my credit card on file. I thought they were going to go, "Oh, we have a whole floor of just shopping," but that was not the case at all. Overall,
okay. So, gun to your head.
Oh, go ahead.
Gun to your head. Would you do this again?
No, not. We were planning on going again this year, and we're not going to do it again this year.
Because I would do the Wish if the Wish is the newest one, right?
Yeah, sorry. One more thing. The pools, Tommy, the pools. You had something to say about this on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you. I'll ask you a general question, and you can go into the pool. But apart from the kids' club, which may or may not have been suitable for her, etc., and the pool, what else is there actually for you to do with the kids on the ship?
So, and I hate to say this, but there's not at least for my 3-year-old daughter, there's not a ton of not scheduled stuff. There were the shows each night, which we did one show. We did Disney Believe, which it held her attention. I was surprised it held her attention, but it did. The midship detective agency is like your big, you have free time on the ship. It's not scheduled. You can do it whenever you want type of thing. There are characters everywhere all the time. So we did spend some time, wandering around meeting characters. There wasn't an arcade. My kid loves arcades. There was not an arcade on the ship. I could not find one. So that was one thing that was a bit of a disappointment. But we go on a ship to visit new islands and places, eat good food, and play in the pool. And we were 0 for 3 on those big 3 things for us. So I was very glad it was only a 3-night cruise because another day on that ship would have been torture for me having to eat that food. And we never got to go in the pool. There's a Nemo's Reef splash area, which my daughter loved, absolutely loved being in Nemo's Reef. But as a parent, you're like, okay, we've been in here for half an hour and you're playing with the same thing. Let's go do something else, please. You kind of lose your sanity a little bit. But only 12 people at a time can get in the damn pool. And they took stanchions from a queue and blocked off the pool like it was a damn hazmat zone. Just silly.
Let's be fair. That pool looks like. I mean, I've seen bigger pools in people's villas in Florida.
You weren't the first guy to tell me that.
Was tiny. Like, it was tiny. That pool. I would say probably from the photo that I saw that you can maybe fit 25 people in that on a normal kind of.
And there's one behind that was behind me about the same size.
Yeah, so that's really not that many.
And again, on a cruise ship,
how many people?
On a cruise ship, you don't really go swimming. You hang out on the edge of the pool with your drink, you put your feet in the water, and you watch the movie on the screen type of thing. So it's not a big, traditional bathing style pool, which is kind of just hang out and, you dip in every once in a while. But you couldn't even do that. You had to wait in a freaking queue. And they would blow the whistle, and everyone in the pool had to get out, and then 12 more would come in. And you'd be in there for 15 minutes, and they blow the whistle, and you get up and get out and get back in line. It was crazy. It was nuts.
I just don't get it though, because I'm naive, yeah, but at the same time, I know people that are on cruise ships doing diving shows. So there's certain cruise ships that have got the ability to have pretty significant swimming pools. So the fact you've got a pool that's so small,
right? Like
even if it was like a shallow lagoon style pool where you could have, like a paddling pool, or
right.
We would call it a paddling pool in this country. That's massive but very, very shallow. It just looked like it was like a postage stamp style, hotel pool.
A lot of people were upset about the inability for their kids to go swimming in the pool unless they wait. And again, I've got a 3-year-old who's had ice cream and all this different. She's not standing still for 15 minutes in a queue. We're paying to be on a ship to not be at Disney World to stand in queues. So it was a huge, huge turnoff for us. The hot tubs, you had to wait in line to get in the freaking hot tub. And it was like no more than 10 minutes in the hot tub. Then you get out and one family gets in and they have their 10 minutes and then you get it. It was this weird, I'm sorry,
but I call it COVID. How long did you do that?
The aqueduct, I did that twice and I waited about 15 minutes each time. Fun enough, pretty fun. My daughter couldn't do it because she wasn't tall enough. So Eric and I had to go alone each time. Pretty fun. There are better slides at Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, if you ask me. But of course, it's on a cruise ship, so they can't make Summit Plummet on a cruise ship. Obviously,
at least it's
the water inside. The water inside is freezing cold, so I spent most of the time screaming because I hate cold water, and the water was very cold. The water in the pools and splash areas was not cold, so thank God for that. But I just between the food, the pools, and the food again and the service, I cannot justify spending another $2,000 this year to take my kid on a 3-night cruise. I just can't. Eric and I are on the Allure of the Seas in June, in a couple of months here, with a big diving board in the back of the ship, which Tommy was talking about. They dive 10 decks down.
Like a GB diver is on that one.
Okay.
On the show on that. And that's pretty
the
impressive.
Aqua Theater. Yeah, the Aqua Theater. So we're doing that, and I have higher expectations for that, obviously. There was a movie theater on board the Disney ship. We didn't spend much time in the movie theater because we got movies at home. And they were showing the same 5 movies that were already on her tablet anyways. So Encanto and Eternals and Red Panda stuff. So it was not as good of experience as I expected out of Disney Cruise Line. So I was a bit disappointed, to be honest with you.
Was it busy? How many people were actually on the ship?
I think the ship was about 60% full, is what I was told or what I saw. Not too bad. The ice cream line was long, obviously. Sorry about that. The ice cream line was long, obviously. So, again, with a 3-year-old who has trouble sitting still, waiting 20 minutes for ice cream can be a problem, So, but it didn't feel crowded. I'll say that.
Well, Chris, you really sold this to me.
I'm sorry. I wanted this to be fun. I wanted to come back having gained 6 pounds from eating steak and fries and drinking pop and ice cream all day. But I didn't pay $2,000 to be negative. It's just kind of what it was. And if you go on any forum or any Disney Cruise Line group, you will see similar comments. Did my daughter love it? Yes, she loved it. She would spend my money again in a heartbeat, obviously. Every character she wanted to meet, she got to meet multiple times. If you were a fan of character greetings, go for it. You can't hug them yet on the ship, but you can stand there and talk to them and take the photos and tease and stuff like that. So she loved that.
But to be fair, you could pay, well, I don't know what it is, what the daily rate for going to the park is, but you could go to Magic Kingdom or whatever ones have got the most meet and greets and pretty much be able to do all the character greetings without having paid all that. And then you get to drive away and find a decent place to go eat. So I'm just not really, and you, like you said, you didn't get to do the stuff that sells the cruises, like Castaway Key and all that. So I just don't like the idea of spending all that money and then it being a bit like, well, you could have a good time,
right? But
there's a good chance that you know, because of weather or the food might be shit. And like, I just don't like that. I just don't like that idea. Like when I go in May to Disney World and all the rest of it, I'm completely in control of where I want to go. So I can go and eat crappy food in Magic Kingdom, or I can, go and get a bus to Disney Springs. I've got that option. I just don't like this idea that you're a captive audience and then you're completely at the mercy of the weather and the kitchen on board and all the rest of it. Yet you've spent all that money. It's not like someone handed you like a refund and said, "Oh, sorry, you didn't get to go Castaway Key. Here's here's $200 off the cost of the vacation." Do you know what I mean? It's just
and that part of it, again, understandable because of weather, and they built and even that part. Just looking at Castaway Key, and Disney is always play things so safe. And Castaway Key has a barrier, an earthen barrier built in, so the water's not too choppy. It's more serene type of thing. So I love open ocean swimming and open ocean snorkeling, and you can't do that there at Castaway Key. Obviously, they want to be a lot more safe. They don't want different animals coming in and out. So in our Disney planning group or our Disney cruise group, there were people who had been saving like 10 years for a Disney cruise. This is their once-in-a-lifetime trip on a Disney cruise, and they couldn't go to Castaway Key. So I felt bad for them. Our other stop was Nassau. We're to the point now where we don't even get off the boat in Nassau because it's Nassau. It's like, okay, you're not missing anything. And we're paying for the ship. So it was like having an extra sea day. So we got to do more stuff on the ship that day in Nassau. Because the parks have gotten so expensive, we've gone all in on cruising. Like, cruising is a good value for us. We like it. We thought the food was good. We love traveling to different countries and seeing new things. And that's great. And it's something for everyone in the family. So, like I said, getting on the ship, I was like, oh yeah, we're doing this again. It's a beautiful ship. The characters are here. My daughter's loving it. And I had that first bite of food and I was like, shit, we can't do this again. Not for the price, at least.
But if you took from your kind of a quick comparison of this trip report on the last one, if you took the characters out of the equation, this would be, and you didn't exactly. Oh my god!
Sorry, that was someone's car.
And you didn't have the absolute 100% best time on the last cruise, but you did enjoy it. Like, if you took the character meet and greets away from what you've just described, it's not. I would say it's probably 30% of the same kind of decent experience.
Yeah,
as your last trip.
Yeah. Without the characters, it would be I'd be pissed if there were no characters for my daughter to keep her occupied and busy and looking forward to. It would just have been a very expensive 3-day boat ride with no value.
Yeah, I guess I'm never going to join the cult of DCL, am I?
I hope it gets better. And like Jalen said, I want to go on the Wish. So the Wish looks great, lots of good features. But I when I vacation, it's my time to put my phone down. I own my own business. I work 7 days a week. I work. Vacation is my time to really let go, not stress out, and eat food. I want to eat. So without that, I can't do it. After our cruise was over, we took a GoPort shuttle for about, I think it was $75 for all three of us, or $80 for all three of us, back to Orlando, got a rental car at the airport, and went to stay at Universal for a few days. Typical Universal trip, pretty good. Again, laughing. My daughter now, we have to pay for my daughter to get into Universal Studios. She's 3 years old. My daughter is tall enough to ride Pterodon flyers, 50 feet in the air. she's not tall enough for Minions or Jimmy Fallon. And we're paying full tilt for her to be there.
Hold on. You had to pay for her?
If someone is 3 or older, they have to pay, yes.
Did you try to lie?
We're not getting into I said we had to pay for her. We were supposed to pay for her. I'm not going any further than that.
Okay, good.
On the air.
Good. We'll talk
on the air. Yeah.
Good.
So, but assuming we did pay for her, she would have had to pay full tilt for this. And my daughter you've seen her, she's 3 years old. She is a big, tall 3-year-old. She's in the top 90th percentile of height. And she wasn't tall enough for Jimmy Fallon or Minions. So they still have continued to struggle with this height requirement and restraint thing they have at the resort. Regardless, we still had fun. We spent more than half of one day just in Jurassic Park alone because we're such big JP fans. So, but that was a bit of an interesting thing. I think that's it. That's got to be all I have for this report. Nothing else sticks out right now. Golden Corral was great.
Did you
breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
I'm more of a breakfast Golden Corral fan, but I just like breakfast more. But
did you do Jason Bourne?
We did Bourne, and we had much better seats this time for Bourne. We were in the back and the middle, so I felt bad because when we did Bourne a few months ago, Eric and I were in the very front on the far left, so you could see everything coming. You could see and I was pissed because that's his first time seeing Bourne, and so I was much happier. His second impression of the show, he walked away stunned, and you just keep. How do they do this? How? And no one talks about Bourne. No one talks about Bourne.
No,
yeah, they're sleeping on Bourne.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's surreal. It's surreal. We were there for Mardi Gras at Universal, and my daughter got all the photos. She got tons of beads. She loved the Mardi Gras parade.
So cool. It looks so awesome. With all
I am literally stepping on beads in the house now because she took them all out of her bag, and they're all over my house right now. So, yeah, Mardi Gras is here at the house with us to this day. And again, I contend, we had the choice. Do we do Disney World or Universal? Disney World is going to be much more crowded. They're going to be longer lines. They're doing these shenanigans now with the waiting, with the standby lines and Lightning and Genie Plus Pass and shit like that. It was much easier. Let's go do Universal. We know what she likes. We know what we like. We know it's easy to get onto. We rope dropped it. Velocicoaster first thing. But unfortunately, Hagrid's was down. So everyone from Hagrid's filled up Velocicoaster before we got there. So it was already an hour wait. You know what? We'll pivot. We'll go do Kong. Walked on to Kong. Came back. VC was like 30 minutes. Bing, bang, boom. Easy, easy, easy. No games. No shenanigans. No upselling. No BS. I just love Universal.
No need for reservations.
Yeah,
Chris,
reservations.
you didn't have to get up at 7 a.m. just to maybe get what you wanted to go on that day.
It's so we walk out of Universal every time. It's like we didn't get everything done. We want to come back. We want more. We're not tired. We're not stressed. We're not hot. We're just like, that was a fun day. We can go at our own pace. It's fun. It's fun. I miss when theme parks were fun. Disney took all the fun out of theme parks for me. They just sucked it out.
I was kind of complaining to Alicia and Scott today that I'm at 4 weeks until I go away. So it's no longer sort of an abstract kind of concept. I've actually now got to, if I want to make sure that I'm doing what I want to do,
you got work to do.
Sit down and go, okay, right, I've got work to do. And it feels like I've got to prep for an exam. That's what it feels like. I've got all this stuff. Honestly, it does. Yeah. And then and I'm, just to be clear, I'm going for 16 days, which I know I can see people having aneurysms over how much time I'm taking to be away. But you would think that would be, that's more than ample, blah, blah, blah. It's really not. When you sit down and go, okay, right, well, once you start looking at the crowd calendar and all that sort of stuff, and it's like, well, what if I go to Disney on that day, it's going to be absolutely rammed and I'm definitely not going to get on anything. And then you just, once you whittle it down, you actually, it's just a fucking nightmare, honestly. Excuse my language.
It's not. It's not fun.
the last 4 days of my trip, I'm staying at Cabana Bay. I'm basically gonna, put down roots at Universal for the last 4 days. And if, say, for example, Cosmic Rewind is open, I've got a park reservation for Epcot. But apart from that, I'm going to spend my last 4 days away from Disney. I'm going to just try and just not plan anything and just do whatever the hell I want. And like at least have 4 days where it's not like I need to look at my spreadsheet and, whatever.
And the games Disney plays with some of the COVID stuff is just like, you're not doing this because of COVID. Just stop. You just stop with blaming COVID for this. You still have to go in one door at World of Disney Downtown or Disney Springs and out another door and this and that and don't go here and don't do that. It's like it's so frustrating being on Disney property. It's so frustrating. So
I know we haven't got much time, but can we just talk about some of the bits and bobs that have come up this week? I think the first one that's probably worth talking about on theme with the cruise stuff and talking about Aria's experience is the meet and greets, like the hugging and everything else. Do you think that will, this is a question to all of you really, do you think that will have an impact on some of the other things that people have been complaining about with not getting park reservations? Do you think, Ryan, that, no, like legitimately, APs are quite understandably complaining that they can't go to the park. But I'm just wondering, what I'm kind of thinking out loud is if those meet and greets are back and people are starting to go into those queue lines that they might not have even had in place the past year and a half since they reopened, will it have an effect on park capacity? That's kind of the question I'm putting out to all of you.
Do you mean like, are they going to try to shove even more people in?
Well, what I'm getting at is if the meet and greets, back in the day, there are whole, like, almost like show building style queues where people will queue up to go and meet whatever character. So before those people were going to those places were off the midways, they were in queues. They weren't queuing up for the rides. So I'm just wondering whether it will have an effect that either the ride wait times possibly go down a little bit or they are able to put more people in the parks or what?
No, because Disney... they don't function that way anymore. It's Disney is trying to save money at every corner. If you do a meet and greet, you got to have a meet and greet character. You got to have an attendant. You got to have this. You got to have that. They'll do meet and greets. They're going to cut back on the amount they do because that costs too much money and you got to pay someone. They're already having staffing issues. I don't see more meet and greets coming. I see less, if any.
It would only be the main players, which they already pretty much did in the past. But at the same time, I think it's a lot more easier to just bring out a random character in a field and let them do stuff and then just let them go back inside.
What is it there? What's the other thing that they're bringing back though? You're saying that they're short staffed or whatever, but what is it? What's the international thing that they're bringing back as well now?
Oh yeah, the kids are coming back to Epcot, right? I think that's what they said.
Yeah, the free cheap labor. Yeah, good on Disney. Oh wow. How generous of them to bring back the free, cheap labor.
The slave trade back open.
Yeah.
I guess they're feeling nostalgic.
Yeah, that's not Disney going out on a limb. That's they're finally able to staff up enough to get that. So they built that extra housing, right? The Disney, that cast member housing and toward the back of property, that's finished now.
They built in like 2 years. They
moved so fast.
Crossings, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
If only they moved that fast with fucking attractions.
No. Well, they're going to build a DVC in what, a year and a half?
Let's not talk about
at Poly?
Let's not talk about
the Holiday Inn at Polynesian Villages, as I'm going to be calling it from now on.
That's the fucking standard. That's like the standard apartments in some fucking gentrified neighborhood where they kicked out all the minorities and now Rebecca lives there. Like, it's fucking gross.
When I did that bear in mind that I'm not taking a side either way because I literally can see both sides. But when I was doing that mock-up of where they went the other day, I can see some similarities with the existing Poly stuff. But it just seems where people are quite understandably like pissed with what they've done is that the design is so retail, like the ground floor, like fronting all these buildings with, it just looks like retail, like the sort of bog standard kind of design these days is to have a 2 or 3 story high shop front, and then the normal floors above it. If you look at the concept art, it's all like, it's literally like retail. It doesn't look like a hotel. It looks like a shopping mall, but with apartments above it. So, and it's really not that big. Like when you actually look at it, it's not a great big.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. I don't know. Like, I literally don't care because, as you know, I'm kind of Team Wakefield on my thoughts on DVC and no interest in it, but I've got no interest in it either way. But let's see what happens. But
on the cruise ship one day, I was bored and I watched the full 45-minute DVC sales pitch they have rotating on one of the channels of why you should buy a DVC. And they show the rooms, and all the rooms they show were these big open rooms with kitchens and a washer and dryer and this happy family. And it was just like the most salesy thing you can imagine. It was a total BS presentation. Of course, it came from Disney. DVC is a great value. It's amazing. Totally not a scam whatsoever. Ryan, as our resident Epcot purist fanboy, whiny guy, tell us your thoughts on how Guardians of the Galaxy is going to ruin Epcot.
It's not. It's definitely going to make it better, but not a not a whole lot. I don't think.
Is it just Gringotts Bank with the Guardians of the Galaxy skin?
It's I think it has potential to be better than Gringotts. It's a pretty low
it's
bar. Gonna be more thrilling for sure. Like Gringotts is just, stop and go, but this will be continuous, just, movement the whole time. You shouldn't be stopping at all, really.
Well, no, because there are no AAs. Why do you need to stop?
Right. No animatronics. The land, the Future World, the side of Future World that used to be so animatronic heavy now has like none.
Here he goes.
No animatronics.
Back in the 80s.
It's just weird. They should have moved the Leave a Legacy tombstones to this side of Future World in memory of those animatronics.
I'm just saying, we all know the real MVP of World Discovery, and that's going to be the Play Pavilion. Like, that's the savior.
I hope.
That's
I
never
don't even
gonna
know
open.
if they're working
That's
on that.
the savior.
Yeah.
Apparently,
It's
the
not
lights
even
are
gonna
on
open.
in there. Apparently, you can
doesn't mean
look
they're
into the
working on it.
building. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's
No.
going to ever become of that. All I know is all we got next is Moana. And I don't even know if that's technically even going to be something. That might just be a mountain with water on it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
In a meet and greet space. I don't think it's going to be like this little walking trail with interactive.
And
And thinking of how long to
the
build.
cool preview center closed.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, tragic. But you know what's the real thing that, the real thing is AP previews are happening. Wakes.
I gotta go. I gotta head out.
Huh. You gonna skip out? You just gonna skip out? Just like you skipped out on giving those people a tip. Let's see how you do people like that. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do.
AP previews have been announced for Guardians of the Galaxy. I am still maintaining there will be a paid and upcharge event before that, where you can pay to ride Guardians of the Galaxy before AP previews.
Oh no! I thought no. We're gonna have to go all the way back. We're gonna have to pull up.
Go back.
We got to pull up to number
I said
76.
they might do previews, but they're going to do paid previews first.
Oh, that's a load of cap, and you fucking know
Nope.
it.
Look it
All
up.
right.
Look it up.
That's some bullshit.
Look it up.
That's some fucking bullshit.
Look it up.
That's
what I said from the start. That's what I said from the start.
Well, as I was saying earlier, I'm going to be there in like 4-5 weeks, right? So if I ride this ride before someone has to physically pay to get on this ride in Chris's upcharge scenario, then that means Jalen's won the bet.
Let me look at
if
these
I can't get on the ride and there's an opportunity for me to get on the ride, because the first people that are going on there are people paying to get on it, then Chris wins the bet. Yeah?
I don't mind losing. I will take Jalen to the nicest Golden Corral in town. You know,
the nicest go. First off, I already been to all
the nicest one.
Second of all, nah, we going to Victoria and Albert, son. They're
not even open. They don't have a chef. They're not even open.
Well,
I'll take you there.
Chris, I'll take you there. We'll look in the window. Away. I'm playing a long game. I can do this all day, motherfucker. Call me Steve Rogers, son. I will be waiting. I'll be waiting. Car, key in the ignition, just waiting. Just waiting for the reckoning, and I'm going to bring to your goddamn wallet. I know that Visa card, MasterCard, whatever the fuck you got, is barely used. Okay? I bet it's just dying to get swiped. So, yeah, no.
So, while we did this, did they release the Thor trailer yet? Are we missing that?
Doesn't appear to be. Apparently, there's a press tour, but no trailer.
Huh. Yeah, you're right. I don't see it yet. Okay.
Can we talk? One very, very salient point that I think, I can't remember if it was Scott or someone, different Scott, made earlier, is the trailer today, apart from the fact that Rocket sounds like Rex from Toy Story, is that, it would have been cool if they'd actually built that pavilion that overlooks the spaceship Earth, like in the trailer where, like, the Nova Core and whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, with that cool view.
Yeah, like how cool would that view be? Like, how cool would that be?
But again, this is Disney continuing to overpromise, and I don't know why they keep doing this. Overpromising with concept art and this kind of trailers and stuff, and it's going to be really cool. And you get there and go, oh, wait.
Yeah, but I would say in that scenario, it's another example of, like, Disney punching themselves in the face, because they would have made a nice amount of money from having that pavilion. Like, who does that? Well, leave money on the table.
There's a lot more to talk about. We're running out of time. There's a lot more to talk about, though, what Disney has been through with the state of Florida recently, and the still the fallout from the Don't Say Gay stuff and the boys and girls stuff, and just it is one unforced error after another. And Disney is flailing. I know I heard someone say, Bob Chapek doesn't want to be in the business of politics. Well, too bad. You are. You give money to politicians, you're in the business of politics. You put yourself in that position. That is a part of the job, right? That is part of the job. It's like me saying, I don't want to change diapers, but I want a kid. What the hell? You put yourself in that position. You just can't wish it away. So there's more we got to keep track of. More is going to happen soon. It's going to be a busy summer with theme parks between. Tommy, are you behind this Epic Universe Progress Bar Twitter account?
I neither confirm nor deny.
Whoever it is, I don't like it. It's 45% complete. They haven't even gone vertical. They're still leveling land. It ain't 45% complete. Stop it. Whoever it is.
You can't have a good park without a good foundation, okay? A good foundation is 50%.
And the foundation ain't even done yet, so they're not 45% complete.
The ground is the foundation.
45% complete. They didn't even put toilets in that bitch yet.
45% from when they started drawing the concept art.
I get that part,
They announced the dates that the park is going to be ready by. And guess what? It's going to be ready by that date, because unlike Disney, they actually build what
that
they
means
intend to build.
45% of the wait is over, not 45% of it has been built.
I don't need to defend this because it's not me. All I'll say is this, right? All I'll say is this. We've still got little bits of foundation and lots of piles of dirt for Moana, the journey of a few drinking water fountains.
And using that logic, it's 75% complete.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. But we've got foundations for like most of the e-ticket rides in the park. Yeah. So we're doing all right. And that in the space of 2 weeks, there's even more being done. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I go in a month, it's going to be even more done. The fact is, they're getting shit done.
Are you going to visit that site when you come?
I might do. I don't know. I might go on the wheel if it's safe, because I don't think anything else in Icon Park is.
Oh gosh,
I'll go on the wheel. And I'm not saying that as a joke. I genuinely
no, totally.
Like, that is a total take that as a burn.
Hold on. I found the original. Sorry, I've been looking for receipts this whole entire time. I'm about to send it to the chat.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah,
How did you what, the original audio?
No, I started from the chat. I'm going back. We're going back.
We made the bet on the show. Go back to the audio of the show where we officially made the bet in front of the world and use that.
Okay.
You'll get those receipts.
Okay. I'll
come back on the next show with those receipts.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get me a time and date stamp, Jalen, I will play it back to Chris. You know, we'll get it ready, and then it'll be time to pay the piper.
Because he's the same guy who forgot he called Marty Sklar a hack. He's the same dude who forgot Marty Sklar was a hack. And the same show and there was a show that used that drop at least once every episode, okay? So, hey,
whatever show that was on, thank God that show is dead and buried in the ground. But I'm still the admin of the Facebook group of that show for some reason, Ryan, and the WordPress page.
That was not a show. You said that in front of a camera at the Wreck-It Ralph event.
No, I didn't.
No. That was something else. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. What would have been funny though?
He don't even care about people who build the attraction, let alone work the attractions. God damn.
So that's one thing you and Shapecker got in common then, Wakefield. There's there's a trail of foot and mouth situations behind you, right?
I feel like y'all are in like a who can fuck up more competition. Who can fuck up the most?
Listen, I would gladly take his salary and put my foot in my mouth every damn day for what he's making.
Jesus
gladly.
Christ. He is
I'm on the record. I'll sell out for $100. So, all right. We're running out of time. Ryan,
so fuck my trip report, huh?
You
fuck my trip report, huh? Remember, I went to Disney. You know what? Fuck y'all. Okay, let's go.
Where can we find you?
Can you give us a 3 minute?
No, I'll just do it on my show. It's fine. I can say the N-word there. It's cool. I can say the N-word.
Here too. It just gets bleeped out.
No. It doesn't have the same magnitude. Okay, go. Come on, let's wrap this up. Chris got to go yell at somebody at Walmart and make them cry.
I think I'm allowed to ask you, Jalen.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to ask you. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I had a great time. Way better than Chris had. I had a way better time than Chris did.
Did it cost you $2,000?
Nope, it was maybe $250 to get out there, and I got in for free.
Well, you did? Wait a second. You're bagging on me, and you got comped for Disneyland?
Yeah, because I have friends who are cast members who I don't treat like shit. Okay? See, you're nice to people, you get some free shit sometimes.
What cast members?
That's the problem. That's the problem. You're part of the bourgeoisie, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers get a little bit of money. They get a little bit of more money. Smell a couple of cork bottles and forget where they came from. Fucking disrespectful son of a bitch. I know damn well you were drinking barefoot back in the day and drinking Skol vodka. You better calm down.
Word has it those cast members are still in therapy from the trauma I inflicted on them. So,
Jalen, if we get to go anywhere when I'm over, we'll ask for the ice bucket and the towel for the bottles of White Claw, right?
Oh my god!
I'd like to order 2 Four Locos, please.
Oh my god!
Have a towel and some ice bucket. And I'd like you to pour it for me. I'm willing to give you a whole $2 tip if you do this for me. Thank you.
I would like to smell the bottle cap of the Skol bottle when you bring it.
Can I smell the flip cap, please?
For those of you who don't know, Jalen ran to Southern California to say goodbye to Toontown. You were there. How long were you on the ground in
12
Orange
hours.
County? 12 hours.
12 hours.
12 hours, so about the same length of time that Chris did his trip report in, right?
Yeah, that's right. I ate good like a motherfucker. Completely opposite than Chris. Man, I had like 9 Mickey beignets, 2 mint juleps,
Did you get a corn dog?
Man. No, I actually ate mostly new. I wanted to eat new food. But I can't do Mickey beignets, and I can't go to Disneyland and not get my favorite type of breakfast. I went to their Batu, which, fuck, all I'm saying is the Imagineers, they don't give a fuck about nobody but Disneyland. That shit was put in there so nice and everything. They have more spies than us, and they're just flexing on you because they don't even need their spires. Like we could use some spires to cover up the Muppets building and the back of Toy Story. No, just fuck us.
I like how they painted theirs more too.
Again, they did not care about it. They made a whole entire new bin. They got fucking Kim Irvine, the grandbaby or the grandbaby of fucking Mark David, whoever the fuck. They gave so much more of a shit when they put in Batu, and they threw in these, like they threw it into MGM. Like MGM, they just literally threw that bitch in there and was like, "Hey, well, it's in there. Let's go home."
And building for Mickey and Minnie's is already done, right? They're done. It's built.
The building's done. When it came to Toontown, like half of like the city is gone. They're redoing all of that. It was still nice to still like see it go, and hopefully I'm hoping that they will hit Roger Rabbit with the Enchanted Wish, like with the glow up that they've done for Fantasyland Dark Rides, because Roger definitely could use it. When I did Enchanted Wish, I mean, if you ever have done any of the other new ones that has added animation to it, you're going to fucking love it. It's just the best way to do a Fantasyland Dark Ride now. And
that was Kim Irvine who did that, right?
Yeah, no, Kim Irvine, she's got a 50-50 jump shot rating. It's either going to be a fucking swish, 3-pointer, or that's an air ball like a motherfucker. She's pretty good. The new Haunted Mansion upgrades a little too bright in there, but you could actually see where certain animatronics, say like Ghost, the Pepper Ghost ones, you can see like the cranes that they're on. So it kind of ruins the effect a little bit. Oh. Also, Haunted Mansion over there is still creepy as hell just for the fact that it's a giant slave plantation. That's all that is. Yeah. It's just my personal hand canon for that Haunted Mansion is that all those white people in there had something to do with the slave trade, and now they are slaves themselves to that house.
Well, it's supposed to be New Orleans,
Hey, that was the Walmart for slavery. You can
yes, it was.
It was a Costco. You could buy them in bulk. You could So it was a fun trip. Avengers Campus is small as hell. Did you
see Flying Spider-Man?
No, so we did that. Like I did get to do Soaring over California, and I still feel nothing. But it was nice to see it over again. I don't really care either way. But I did not get to do Web Slingers outside of just doing the pre-show because they were doing some kind of villain event there at 8:00. It was 6, and they were about to close Guardians because they were going to switch it over to their like Monsters After Dark for the event. Yeah. So we were like, "Hey, I've never been on this ride before, but Mission Breakout is probably better than whatever the fuck they got going on over here. Let's go do that. And if we can get back in for Web Slingers, we can get back into Web Slingers." And we didn't even bother. We just rather would have like ate shit and went back to Disneyland to go knock off some more rides on our list. It was a fun trip, and I would do it again.
Ryan, I think you seem to remember the video of me almost killing a kid on a slide at Universal.
Jesus Christ, Wakefield, man!
You've referenced it before. Okay, all right. No, I'll do it off the air. But today is the anniversary of that. Anyways, Ryan, where can we find you online?
Imagineer6 on Twitter. That's all.
Tommy, where can we find you online?
At Tommy Hawkins or Parkstop Presents channel. I remember the name, so that's good.
Jalen, where can we find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at TCJalen, and keep a lookout for that new episode talking about my Disneyland adventure. Have a lot of friends on there who were there and all that shit.
And you can find me at Wakefield Report. And of course, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at eTicketReport for all the latest updates. That is our show. We will see you all next time.